Happy Saturday morning, Ivor. The best time of the week to get out and look at a few things in the woods without the pressures of the world. Just make observations and maybe do a little experimenting. And we are doing something pretty exciting today, aren't we? We just tried out our new 4-stage pruning pole on one of my favorite red oak trees. And we now have roughly 30 feet of perfectly straight, high quality, fast growing northern red oak. Isn't that exciting, Ivor? I've been pruning this tree for, I think about 8 years, a little at a time, somewhat aggressively. That's a little bit tall for most species, but red oak handles pruning extremely well. It'll just grow more top to keep up its growth rate. It needs the green leaves, of course, for photosynthesis. But whereas in white pine we really don't want to go more than half the height pruned, we can get by with less than that in red oak. And I'm trying to get the limbs while they're small, because they heal over quicker when they're small and start to develop clear wood. And that's as far as we're ever going to prune that tree, because then it splits off. Whatever made that do that at that kind of height, I don't know, but it happens. It certainly wasn't from deer browse. That would be an awfully big deer. Maybe Babe the Blue Ox did it. Anyway, that's pretty exciting. I'm actually going to measure that pole so that we know what the maximum pruning height is. Well, we've got some other fabulous red oak in the works here. These two are nicely formed. Great growth so far this year. There's about I'd say a good 14 inches in 10 days. They did not bud out until about the 15th of May, and today is the 26th of May. So the growth on the red oak comes real early, and then sometimes you get a surge again later in about July, but this is the major growth spurt right now. These have already been selected once. In other words, I've been through here with a brush saw and released these red oak trees from competition, and now they've grown so well that they're competing against each other again, and we need another round of thinning with brush saws. Hard to do, but we'll probably take out half, and we'll work on a spacing basis to give the crowns room, and we'll also work on a quality basis. But I'm going to wait a little bit longer to see if the terminal buds are going to bud out on that one, because right now it looks like they're not, yet there are buds there that are ripe, so they might still leaf out, and then that's a candidate for leaving. But if it doesn't leaf out, then we're going to end up getting a Y or a crook in that tree, because one of those lateral branches that has leafed out nicely is going to take over. And that's how we end up with logs that aren't perfectly straight. Not that every log we have has to be perfectly straight, but it sure is nice when it comes to the sawmill. Typically, red oak is grown on an even age basis because they like full sunlight, but they can also grow in a partial sunlight site, and that's what we've got here. We've got birch that's a little bit older. We've got oak on top of oak of different age classes, including that big bur oak right there, and that nice big red oak, which is mature off in the distance. Those are probably 95 years old, I'm guessing. I've never taken core samples out of them, but that's my best estimate. And the proof is in the pudding. If you give pockets of sunlight or holes in the sky for half a dozen trees to grow, what do they care? They're just one tree, and as long as they have a hole in the sky to grow straight, they will. Got quite a bit more over here too. That's a dandy. But then next to it is another one where the highest terminal leaders are not leafing out. It just happens sometimes, and that's why we get deformity. Relatively. But I think I got to give them more time. They just haven't done it yet. One other thing I wanted to point out, I've been studying this white pine. Young one here. Because the deer had apparently gotten every single bud when they browsed it this winter. I had it bud capped, but sometimes those vicious bastards will rip the bud cap with the terminal stem right off, like they did on this one. Mean. But anyway, I've been watching it to see if something will bud out, and just this morning, I'm pretty sure we've identified a new bud. Right there, you can see that little green thing. So typically the conifers don't branch out epicormically, meaning from a dormant bud on the bark. But I'm pretty sure that that's what's going to happen here. So we're going to continue to watch that. It will reveal itself quite promptly here. I don't know what kind of a bug that is. I don't like to see bugs on trees, but I don't think that's going to do any damage. Oh, now he's hiding. Doesn't like me. But if that will bud out, it's going to make me feel a lot better. How about some of these areas where the deer have devastated all buds on all trees, and the fear is that we've lost the site then and have to replant or start over or whatever. But anyway, we'll keep track of that one.